In the last lesson, we got our editing universe in order. Now our tracks are organized. Let's see where we left off.
I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Oh, no worries. It's just that every year during the same month,
Now, what's the real problem here? It's not just technical. Yes, the shots don't match. Yes, the backgrounds change. But this is supposed to be a movie. We are supposed to believe that this scene actually happened, that these two people were actually talking to each other in real time. Now remember, life does not have cuts. Because of that, our brain is not accustomed to hearing these bumps when the sound changes, like
I'm not
this.
surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just.
That just doesn't make sense to us. So our job is to smooth it out. Now what I'd like to do is to make these two edits
I'm not
here. Let's
surprised you
listen.
thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on.
I want to start with easy stuff first because it gives you a better idea of how it works. Listen to this. First listen to
Are
one
you the
side.
neighbor?
That's pretty smooth except for some nastiness right there. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, I live.
That's not bad. So we have a few ways of going about this. By far, the easiest is to select an area where there's nothing bad going on and simply do a fade. Let's see if this worked.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
It's not bad. There is some change in the quality of the room tone, even though the level is relatively good. Let's leave it for now and move on to this edit, which is a bit more complicated.
I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Okay, let's try first to do what we just did in the other edit and simply do a crossfade. By the way, whenever you do a crossfade, you need to listen to both sides independently.
Man,
That's that side.
Are you the neighbor?
That's this side. Now this one's kind of weird. Let's do a crossfade first to see how it works, but you notice there's this weird sound. Sounds a bit like a donkey or something in the background. But let's see what we got. So let's do this guy. Let's see. Don't want to do that. Now, notice what would happen. If I do a crossfade right here, it's going to cut into this word, which generally is not something you want to do. So I'm not going to make a crossfade that is the same on both sides. Instead, I'm going to fade this about like so, fade this about like so. Now let's see what we have.
I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on.
Okay, a few things that are weird happen here.
Surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
First of all, we can't live with this donkey sound, so let's get rid of that. The only way to do it is to use a different kind of edit. So far, we've been doing a crossfade during a silent area. Now, that's generally a pretty good thing to do because it makes for an even transition of energy. However, sometimes you can't do that. Either the room tone doesn't match or you get the donkey sound. So instead, we're going to cut this off right here and zoom in. And let's just do this, an itty bitty tiny crossfade right here. It's in essence a cut. I'm just sort of making it a little bit happier. Let's listen.
Still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Let's see what happens going here now.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Okay, now let's see if we can take some room tone. Not bad. There's a little bird there. Notice here we have a breath. We can't use this. What I'm trying to do is to add some room tone right here so we can make a longer transition. Now this won't work because we have the breath. So what I'm going to do here is to extend this guy out as long as I can. Let's listen to it, see what we have here. Just do we have some room tone or not? Okay, it's good up to here. Before this we have his breath, and before here we have her going so we can't use that. So let's now just move this over here and lose this fade and slide this guy over and see if by any chance this works. Now one thing you might have noticed the way I work is it's true, I have lots of experience, so I sort of know where to go, but I generally find that it's easier to toss out an idea and then to see if it works, rather than do all this calculation of, what should I do here? I find it simply faster and usually more fun to simply do something. If it doesn't work, I undo it. Anyway, so you see what I've done now. I've added some room tone here. I've made an edit group, because in the Pro Tools you have to do that. And let's do a fade there. Let's see what we have. We come out of solo here in this track.
I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Okay, now there's only one real problem now, is his level is too low. Now there's two consequences of it sounding low. One is it just sounds too low. But the other is it changes the drama a bit. His relationship to her has changed and he is weakened. Finally, what's wrong with it is that every shot has its own natural volume that it wants to be. You have some play between too loud and too quiet. But if you make him quieter than his energy is, he seems weird. If you make him louder than his energy is, he seems weird. So here I've raised him by 2 dB, and let's see what we have here.
She owns most of the mountain. I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path.
He could be even louder. Now, you think, well, why not just match him to this? That's a pretty good place to start. However, it's not that simple because here he's in a declaration, a somewhat defensive declaration, and now he's a bit flirtier, not exactly apologetic, but he's not in this sort of guy macho thing. So let's raise him a bit more so he simply sounds better. Let's see. So notice what I'm saying is this and this do not necessarily have to match completely in volume because this is being pushed harder, this is being pulled back more in his acting.
I'm not surprised you thought you're still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Not bad. Now that we've tackled these two edits, let's move to the next one.
Listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Oh, no worries. It's just that every year.
Let's start with this edit first.
Listen,
Let's start off doing our basic normal crossfade, see what happens.
On the path here.
listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Okay, first of all, she's louder, so to see if that's the problem, let's lower her. Maybe it'll help.
Listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Let's see it again.
Listen,
We can't lower her level like that because it's just lower than her natural level. Let's try to
listen.
figure out what's happening here. You hear that little
Listen.
right there? See that? Right there. Who knows what it is, but it's really annoying, so let's get rid of it. See what the options are here. Here's the sound. Right on the head turn. Gone. Let's find some room tone to fill this out. Put it right about there. Great. Fade. Let's see if once again we make a sort of a normal crossfade. Okay, there you go.
listen,
We have a tone problem right here, but let's try another option. If I want to get rid of the tone problem, the normal thing to do is to open up the extension, have more of it. Then there's a longer space for the energy to change over the edit from there to there.
listen,
Well, we sort of fixed the tone problem, but there's something else happening. There's these strange little sounds here. Listen closely. What's happening right before she talks?
listen,
You hear that double breath? Does this work? I don't know. Let's see.
Just on the path here.
listen,
I don't know. I don't really like this. I don't like all this off-camera panting. It's not that kind of movie. So we need to fix the breathing problem. Here we are in solo.
Lis-
This little area here is nice. This end
Listen.
part, that little breath, it's
Lis-
nice. It accents the head turn. It's really cute. But we can't really do that because if that's all we do, we're going to hear the wind come in.
listen,
See, it
I'm-
doesn't work.
Lis-
See that little ha ha? It's really quite nice. So the trick is to make this work with nice room tone while keeping that head turn. So what can we do? What we do is this. Let's grab part of this region, copy it, move it down to another track. First, let's lose the picture. Let's put it onto a work track. There you go. Now you notice I got rid of the picture. Do not work this way normally. I just did it because on this single screen demo setup, there's no place to put it. But don't get in the habit of doing this. We do not do radio. You need the picture. We make movies. So don't do that. What I've done is I've taken this clip of 26B, moved it to work track, and opened it up all the way. Open the handles to the left, open the handle to the right. This breath, that's what we were hearing before. Let's check that.
Listen.
Yep, that was the breath. What I'm trying to do is to see if anywhere in this clip we can find some room tone so that we can then extend it. We know this section is no good. Now, why in the world do we move this to a work track? It's because I need to use the dreaded evil shuffle mode. Every workstation has something like the shuffle mode. In the normal slip mode on a Pro Tools, if you hit delete, it's just that. It doesn't move the sync. However, if you use the shuffle mode and you do the same thing, it moves everything towards the left. Not just this region, but everything downhill from there. It causes great distress. Don't do that. What we're going to do now is go through this region and get rid of everything that kind of looks like a word or a breath or a noise and see if there's enough to make something to work with. I don't think it's going to work, but let's see. We can't use there's a breath there. Let's see if we have enough. Let's lose that. Let's see if it's better. Okay, now that we've cleaned it up, let's do a crossfade. In this case, it's 80 milliseconds, which in PAL universe is 2 frames. Now that we've faded it, we want to make a single region out of this, actually make a single file out of this. So we consolidate it, and then we name it. Let's call it 26B room tone. By having the word RT attached to it, it's in our library of room tones. It's easy to find that way. Finally, we're going to trim off the edges. Now, why did I do that? It's so that when we actually drop this room tone into a region, we have something to play with. There's room for a crossfade. There's room for an extension. It's just easier this way. Let's copy this room tone and put it more or less where we're going to do the edit. There it is right there, so drop it there. And get rid of this crossfade. And we want to slide this up to the track. Let's see what we've got. Okay, let's play it without even a crossfade. Let's see if it works.
Listen.
It's going to work, but there's something kind of weird. There's this double breath sound. Can't have that. Let's try this. Take this region, cut it in half, move the first part to the beginning, the second part to the end, so the loop takes longer and you don't really notice it as much.
Listen.
It's not great, but maybe it will do. Fade, 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 make a group, and then a fade. Let's see what we got now.
Live just on the path here.
Listen, I'm really...
It's still not very good. Let's try one more thing. You can hear the traffic coming in there, so I don't know. One thing that might help is if we go to track C, is do a little automation change. We take the room tone that starts there until the end and slowly increase it. Maybe it will help us when we get to the crossfade. Let's see.
Path here.
Listen.
No, it doesn't help. Okay, let's take one more shot at this edit. It's really pretty good now, except you can hear her room tone, which is this nasty, traffic-y stuff kicking in. Let's hear
Are you
it.
the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Now, in truth, if we couldn't make it any better than this, nobody's going to die. But let's try to make this transition here a little bit smoother when she starts to talk. Now, previously, we tried to extend this room tone. We put it on a work track, opened it up, and we saw that there was really no usable room tone. However, there is some hope. Look here. This is 26B1. This is 26B2. So they're the same shot. Different takes, but same shot. Maybe we can pull some room tone from here and make it work there. So let's copy a bit. I'm going to lose her for a moment. Bye-bye. We're going to open this up all the way, just like we did before. And let's see if there is perhaps something that we can use here. Once again, go into the evil shuffle mode, and let's see if we have anything.
Most of the mountain. I'm not surprised you thought you were still on our land.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I lived just down the path here.
Okay, the only thing useful is here. I think there's nothing after that, yeah. Because even though you have some room tone here and here, there's this bizarre sound. So let's just take this and let's hope for the best. So we're going to undo this here. We're going to just paste this guy here. Let's go back to let's ungroup those. Let's take you and put you here. And before we go, there's one more thing I'd like to check. It's this transition here. It's a little weird. What I want to do is this. Take all of this stuff here and move it to the right just a bit. Do a new crossfade here, a little bit longer. Do a crossfade here. Let's see if it works.
Listen.
Not bad. I'd like to make this a little bit longer.
Listen.
Okay, let's see if that works. We're just going to do a quickie little grouping, and we're going to do a little fade. Here's the whole thing.
Are you the neighbor?
Yeah, I live just on the path here.
Listen, I'm really sorry about this.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, it's really not bad. We're going to stop at that. Next lesson, we'll do some more transitions to see how to deal with rather peculiar problems.